Hello, gamers from around the world. This is Boxenberger, the video game enthusiast from Germany, and I would like to welcome you to this week's episode of The World of Gaming, the #1 podcast where we discuss everything that happens in gaming Dutch. And this week we have a bunch of cool topics to talk about, but first I want to welcome our awesome community. I see the chat is filling up with a lot of familiar names and a lot of pineapple pizza emojis. People just want to tease me.
Forever going to haunt you with pineapple.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Anyway, big welcome to you guys. Big welcome to everyone who listens after the fact, either here on YouTube or on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. A big welcome to you guys as well. And Dutch, my man, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's almost the weekend. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking. Obviously, it's payday today.
Hey.
I was looking to see if there's any games I particularly want right now, and there isn't.
There really is, dude. Grounded 2 is out.
I mean, I do want to get Donkey Kong Bonanza, but I'm not in a mad rush for it. I don't want to buy a game when I'm not in a big gaming mindset, because I know it'll just sit there for a month and not really get played. I'd rather buy the game when I'm in a gaming mindset and play it.
I can't understand that. So
yeah, I was having a scroll through the Xbox marketplace as well to see if there's anything I wanted there, and I know Mafia Old Country's coming up as well, but same applied. I don't want to jump into something if my head's not in it, because I'll pick it up. And if my head's not in it, there's a good chance that I'll just put it down and never pick it back up again. And I'd rather buy it when I'm in a gaming mindset, so I know I will play it. But yeah, otherwise I'm good. Like I say, it's almost the weekend, so be able to relax, maybe get some gaming time in. See what else. But how about you?
Sweet.
How are you?
Doing good. Looking forward to the weekend as well, man. I have 2 more weeks at work before I leave for the summer vacation, so have to power through that. I am kind of exhausted. It has been rough the last couple of weeks in my workplace, so I'm in desperate need of a vacation, but 2 more weeks and then I'll be off for the summer vacation. In the meantime, I try to distract myself with the joy that is gaming Dutch. And finally, a bunch of new games I'm really excited for are coming. Grounded 2 today and Mafia in a week, less than a week.
Yes, yeah, the 8th.
Yeah. I think there's 2 days early access for pre-orders or something like that. So yeah.
Are you getting the deluxe edition?
Most likely. I haven't pre-ordered yet, so I need to check what's in the deluxe edition. If it's only the 2 days early access, I might not get it. If there's some actual content in there, I'll definitely get it. I'm really excited for Mafia.
Lovely skins. That's what it'll be. Outfits.
In that case, probably not. Yeah, but anyway, I'm really excited for Mafia. Mafia looks absolutely stunning. I really enjoyed the previous games. I appreciate them not trying to go more GTA-like, but to go back to the idea of Mafia 1 and 2, where they had open areas, but it was still pretty much a pretty linear game, and sometimes I do appreciate that. So I like the setting, going back in time with Mafia, and so I'm really excited for that one. And today Grounded 2 came out, right? Downloaded it, haven't started it yet. Didn't have the chance between work and the podcast. But depending on how long we're going to do this today, I'm going to start either later tonight or tomorrow. So yeah, man. I'm doing good overall. I'm doing good.
Nice.
So today, Dutch, we have plenty to cover. The Nintendo Direct happened, right? earlier today. We've got some interesting numbers on the Xbox revenue thing. We've got some heavy discussion in the community about PlayStation potentially bringing games to Xbox. We'll discuss it, Dutch. Some ROG Xbox early news, some Xbox at Gamescom news, some Warner Brothers interesting news, weird news.
Yep.
Really weird news, and much more. So, Dutch, it's going to be an awesome show. So, again, a big welcome to everyone. If you do enjoy the show, we would absolutely appreciate you guys hitting the like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. Consider subscribing on Spotify or Apple Podcast if you're listening. That really helps us out. It costs nothing. So thank you guys for that. And with that, let's get this show on the road. And as always, we start our podcast with the most important thing in gaming, and that are the games that we are playing. So everyone in the chat, let us know what is keeping you guys busy. And Dutch, what have you been playing lately?
Yeah. So I've been doing a little bit, like I say, I haven't been in the biggest of gaming moods, but I have jumped into Final Fantasy 16 on Xbox a little bit more. Of course, I've already finished it on PlayStation, and finished one of the two expansions on PlayStation. I'm actually on the final boss of one of the expansions on PlayStation, and then it was frustrating me, so I put it down and didn't finish it. So I'm going to finish all of it on Xbox, and then probably go back and just beat that last boss again on PlayStation so I can get that done. But yeah, I'm playing through Final Fantasy 16 on Xbox again.
How is it running on Xbox?
Yeah, it's running fine, but there has been some jumpy moments, a little bit of jittery moments, not massively taken away from anything, but it wasn't too dissimilar from the early experience that we had on PlayStation. When it first launched on PlayStation, we also had a couple of jumpy and jittery moments and things like that, where in cutscenes and some of the heavier moments. And on Xbox, it's kind of the same thing. So I'm expecting maybe a couple of patches to follow to smooth that out. Again, on story games, I don't play in performance mode. I know you like to. I prefer it in quality mode because I don't really care about the frames all so much. I'd rather it look pretty whilst I'm playing around. So specifically that mode that I'm playing, I couldn't tell you about performance mode, but that mode's definitely got a few frame pacing issues in segments, but otherwise it's been fine. In combat, in actual gameplay, it's fine. It's just mainly the biggie cutscene moments that.
And I remember that it, like you said, it was. I had a similar. I played the game on PlayStation when it came out, and then it was very similar. The cutscenes had some frame time issues, but gameplay was totally fine. It was a weird thing.
Yeah, very weird. But yeah, otherwise, like I say, frame pacing in the more of the cinematic moments, but the generalized gameplay, no issues at all. Absolutely fine. Looks great. Definitely a slightly smoother image from what I can tell compared to the PlayStation version. So it's obviously, I would imagine, I don't know whether or not that's pixel count or whether or not it's level of fidelity on the Xbox version. I don't know. But if it, to the eyes anyway, it feels like it's a smoother experience, like visually smoother experience than that of PlayStation, which felt a bit sharper. Gameplay-wise, of course, I love Final Fantasy 16, so I know what to expect.
Great game.
I've also been, because it's almost football season again, playing a little bit of FIFA. Just a little bit.
FIFA Football Club.
Yeah, I support two. Of course, I support Ajax and I support Newcastle. So not the greatest of transfer windows for both of those. So I will decline commenting on anything at the moment. But yeah, it's so I went in and played a couple of games of player career, because you can create your own player. So play as myself. And then you can go all the way through being a brand new player, all the way through to kind of being a club legend and then do all your transfers and whatnot. So I've just been playing on that. Of course, the new FIFA's coming out again some point in August. So September maybe. So I don't know, August, September. So naturally I'll pick that up, even though it's like the same shit every year. But you know how it is.
Yep.
These fucking sports games.
You're part of the problem, brother.
I know I am part of the problem. I admit it. And then still playing on the Switch and playing Pokemon when I'm lying in bed or chilling downstairs when I'm not really in the biggest of moods. And got the expansion for the previous Scarlet on that one now, so I've got a little bit extra to play on that now because I had 2 expansions. The Indigo Mask and something else. There's like 2 story expansions for it, which I've never played. So I've got that now to play through, which is cool. So that's keeping me busy for the minute. As I mentioned, I still want to get to Donkey Kong at some point, and Death Stranding 2 at some point, and Mafia at some point. So there's 3 games I know I want to play. I'm not really in the skatey mood at the moment, so I haven't even downloaded or turned on Tony Hawk's 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing.
And I know there's a couple of others that's dropped on Game Pass as well recently, but again, I haven't really been playing that much on Xbox, other than occasionally FIFA and Final Fantasy. Just because the good thing about both those, they're like comfort games at this point.
Indeed,
Final Fantasy 16 I've played before, so I don't really have to think about it. I know what to expect. I know what I'm doing. FIFA, it's just play a couple of games, turn it off.
Yeah.
So new games like Mafia, for instance, would require me concentrating on what's going on in the story. And I don't want to miss something like that. So,
all right, good stuff.
What about you? What you've been playing?
Let's see first what the community has been playing. Julia has been playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. See, and a lot of people really enjoy that game, and it's
super highly rated.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Dustin Lambert has been playing RoboCop. Great choice.
Nice.
I've been playing the Unfinished Business DLC. Good.
Oh, what's that like?
It's good. I mean, it's more of the same in the best way possible. Yeah. Just as good as the main game and just pure fun. It's fantastic. Super short though. Super short. Took me, I want to say, less than 3 hours also. Pyro has been playing Tony Hawk's 3 and 4, Vampire Survivor. Very good, very good.
I've got a couple in here as well. Agent X-Force has been playing RoboCop, Brotato still, and Division 2 Brooklyn DLC.
Oh.
And he's just bought Alan Wake 2 and the Xbox deal. You'll love Alan Wake 2. I don't know if it's anything like me and Boxy. It's one of those ones where you've got to be in the mood for it, because it's like, it's obviously a psychological thriller. It's not something you can just sit there and not be tense about.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the right game when you come home exhausted from work. You can't
just come home and relax to it. Yeah.
Definitely not.
You've got to be in the mood. But it's a fantastic game. The soundtrack's fantastic as well. Visually really good, so you'll enjoy that. Definitely. And Andrew Cullinane has been trying Kenshi on the Steam Deck.
I have heard good things about that, man. Who told me about that lately? Just a couple of days ago, I had a discussion about it. I was thinking about getting it on Steam. Yeah. Sithlord has been playing Tony Hawk 3 and 4 and Donkey Kong Bonanza. I see a pattern here. Pyro has been playing One Piece Odyssey, and he started Death Stranding and Endless Zone Zero.
I'm guessing, Pyro, One Piece Odyssey is in the sale. It's one of the ones that I looked at ages ago, because And One Piece fans are going to hate me for this. I've never watched the actual anime, but I did watch the Netflix One Piece series, and I loved the Netflix version of One Piece, and I'm looking forward to the second season. I don't know whether or not that's blasphemy for One Piece fans, but I enjoyed it for what it was on Netflix itself. I thought it was really cool. It's quite entertaining. And I was thinking at some point of picking up the One Piece Odyssey one because it's an open world One Piece adventure. But I was waiting for sales. So let me know, Pyro, if it's a good One Piece game, and I will potentially pick it up on sale because it is something that I thought, okay, that looks cool. I'll wait for sale.
Sounds like a plan, man. James has been playing FIFA with about 8 mates, he says. And the banter becomes so extreme. He says we should turn our phones off.
It can get like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with like every game when you play with 8 friends, right?
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, the one good thing I do like about FIFA Pro clubs is that you can have up to 11 mates playing online with each other against another team of 11 people and their mates. So it can get super competitive that way. Of course, you can play 4v4 against each other as well, and that will be hilarious. But yeah, the banter can get quite ridiculous when it's pro clubs.
That's very, very true. Then we have Dustin Lambert, who also ran through Tales of Kenzera's Zao. That is one I have yet to play. I have
Same, and it's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. I've seen it every time I browse through the Game Pass library. I'm telling myself, I need to start that at some point, but for some reason I haven't.
You like Prince of Persia?
Yeah, I know. It's probably right up my alley. It's one of those Metroidvanias, that I do love.
Relatively short and sweet as well, apparently. So
download it on the Ally. I have so much to play. Man, I'm playing
Ally.
I'll tell you in a second.
You're playing The Witcher 3?
No, I'm not. I am not. I've downloaded
you know what I was thinking about? You know what I was thinking about playing again the other day?
Tell me.
Because I still see so many people playing it and starting new saves and starting the game again. Cyberpunk.
Yeah. My timeline is full with Cyberpunk lately.
Yeah, and because of that, I was like, oh, do I download it again and start a new game? Do I do it? I've been really weighing it up.
I've already finished it twice. The first playthrough was, of course, when it came out, and when the Liberty City expansion came out, I did not just play the Liberty City expansion. I started an entire playthrough, and including Liberty City. So maybe. But then I have so many other things I am playing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. BT Maverick is digging Space Marines 1.
Nice. Nino Vostek is playing Death Stranding 1 on Series X. Same here. I'm also still working my way through it. Alone in the Dark on PS5 Pro. Nice. I still haven't played that, so you have to let us know what that is like.
Yeah.
And Tomb Raider Definitive Edition on his ROG Ally. So he's got a good mix there.
That's a good one. I haven't played Tomb Raider in way too long. And
Same.
I really want them to bring out the new one. But Crystal is apparently really struggling.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, especially after the cancellation of Perfect Dark, which was a good funding thing. Yeah. I hope they will survive until they can bring out the new Tomb Raider.
just until that.
Just until that. No, I want them to stay in the industry, bro. It's a great developer. I mean, the Tomb Raider reboot trilogy was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was. Especially the last one specifically as well was fantastic.
Yeah, true that. James has been playing Zero Ad, a free-to-play ripoff from Civilization. Never even heard of it. I think we covered the chat pretty much. Sorry if I missed someone. So yeah, what have I been playing? I've been playing on the Alley, Batman Origins.
All right.
I haven't played that in a long time, and it was on sale for $3 or so. So I thought, and since it is not available on the Xbox Digital Library, I thought, hey, I haven't played it since launch. I did one playthrough when it came out, and then never again. And it is really good. It is really, really good. Origins, such an underrated Batman game. And then I have been playing a lot of Tony Hawk 3 and 4. Just pure fun. Just pure fun. You know, it's one of those games that you can pick up and just play 5 minutes or 5 hours. It's like, it's just great. It's just great. And they've done a fantastic job also with the soundtrack, you know, not the original soundtrack because of, you know, licensing stuff, but the songs they picked, they fit so perfectly, you know. Runs butter smooth, looks fantastic. Just pure fun, man. Just pure fun. And then I've started to play Forza Horizon 5 again with my kids. Introducing them to the Forza world at the moment.
It's a good one to introduce them to. Forza Horizon, nice open world one that can drive wherever they want. There's no forced into races.
Yeah, and especially my big one, he's got hooked, man. Like, you know, earning credits to buy a great new car, and he's totally in the loop, and it's so fun to see and play with them. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, and then like I mentioned earlier, I downloaded Grounded 2. I cannot wait to start that. I hear nothing but good things so far. So later tonight or tomorrow, and
right. At some point I'll get into Grounded 2 as well. At some point.
Remember we played the first one a little bit together.
Yeah, we played that quite a bit together. That was to be fair, it is definitely more fun co-op than it is by yourself.
Yeah, but even by yourself, the game can still be a lot of fun. I spent a lot of hours, you know, building stuff. I actually did enjoy the story mode. So yeah. All right, let me put on some gameplay. People have voted for Doom this week. Doom: The Dark Ages. Where is it? There it is. Let's go with some Doom gameplay, and with that, let's start to talk about some of the news. That's the Nintendo Direct today. Let us get into the Nintendo Direct. Earlier today, I'm gonna start right off. My absolute highlight: Octopath Traveler 0. And there you go, at least 100 hours gone for me. I absolutely love Octopath Traveler. I like these isometric pixel art JRPGs. I loved Ayuden Chronicles. I love Sea of Stars. The Octopath games, of course. And so this was absolutely my highlight. I cannot wait. It also comes out on Xbox. It's not just a Switch 2. It comes out on Xbox in December. And it's actually Play Anywhere, which is a novum, and absolutely loving that because we can pretty much assume that by December, the new ROG LEX comes out or is out. And so I'll be going back and forth on the LE and Xbox, and I cannot wait for Octopath Traveler 2. But what was your highlight, man?
Yeah, probably much like you, I didn't get a chance to watch it live because I was at work. So I've seen the trailers on Nintendo's page on X. So I kind of saw the announcements and saw the trailers of the games that they talk about. But of course, for me, the two big highlights for me were Octopath Traveler 0 and The Adventures of Elliot and the Millennium Tales.
Yeah.
Which is also a Square Enix game, and it's also 2D HD, but it's an action RPG. So it's a little bit more, I wouldn't say Diablo, because it's not, but it's a little bit more that isometrically top-down action RPG game for themselves. And that one, again, looks fantastic. It's a little bit different. But both, again, look absolutely fantastic. That one's, of course, coming next year, but it was good to see to get another Octopath. I'm glad that series is still doing well. It's obviously doing well enough to continue to get sequels or prequels or whatever Zero is. Of course, we've had 1, 2, and 0 now. And 0, of course, due out this year. So, always good to get a new Octopath.
Absolutely.
Fantastic turn-based RPGs. As you mentioned, it's a beautiful art style, the 2D HD pixel art, or should we say voxel art, whatever you want to call it. Looks fantastic. But I like to say that one and The Adventures of Elliot.
Yeah.
It's a strange name, but it looks fantastic. So...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, then Elden Ring and Final Fantasy VII Remake and Persona 3 Reload. I've seen a lot of people being very happy about that coming to the Switch.
Also got the Legends of Zelda not Tears of the Kingdom. Hyrule Warriors 2.
Yeah.
Age of Imprisonment.
Although I didn't really get into Hyrule Warriors 1, so me personally, I'm not too excited about 2.
Yep, exactly the same. It wasn't not my kind of cup of tea, but for those who are excited about it, I'm sure they're very happy that the new one's out. Of course, they mentioned Chronos, the new Dawn's coming out for the console, which is good for them.
Absolutely.
FIFA got its announcement for the console.
Yeah, of course.
The one thing, though, that I need to say is if anyone's had the misfortune of ever playing the Switch version of FIFA in the past, you know, or at least people will know, that it's the dumbed-down, shitty version with no modes, and it doesn't work anywhere near the same as the console versions. It is a completely different version.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to stay the same on the Switch too?
I hope it's going to be the same version on Switch as it is on console.
I would assume so. I mean, I know the Switch 2 isn't really like super duper modern tech, but at least it is in the space where ROG Ally is running, not the upcoming one, the already existing one, or a Steam Deck or something in that ballpark. Yeah, ballpark. And with that, it should be able to at least run the regular
It should
version.
be. You have a look at all the reviews of previous ones. They're just like, what? This is like FIFA Lite. Essentially, it was like a mobile version of it, just shoved on the console for the sake of putting it on. It was super lazy by EA at the time.
Yeah.
So hopefully this version is just the full fat version that every other console gets. And I think if it is, people will be happy.
True.
But I think a lot of people will have a big distrust about picking up FIFA on Switch because of the previous versions.
Yeah.
So it's a case of, and even for me, I would like to have a football game to be able to play on the go or something like that. Of course, before we talk about ROG Ally or anything like that, it would be nice to have one that works that way on the go for the future. So I will wait until there's reviews out for the Switch version to see if it is in fact the full fat version and not some dumbed down version. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I've seen some people complaining about the Switch. The mini game showcase there, but they did say it was a partner showcase.
Yeah.
They did say it was third-party games, essentially. So I don't understand why people were kind of expecting big stuff from Nintendo themselves. They still announced a couple of their own titles, which is good. But predominantly, it's about, I was kind of expecting, okay, is there anything else from Xbox going on there? Is there anything else from potentially even PlayStation going on there?
I think I'm not sure. It's me speculating, but I could see the frustration coming not by. I mean, with the partner showcase, everyone should know. No, this isn't the first party. I haven't seen much complaints about that, but I feel like the frustration is coming that, for the most part, those games are, I don't want to say old games, but for the lack of a better phrase, I'm going to say old games that have been out on other platforms for a while. You know, if you think about Elden Ring and or Persona 3 and so on.
Oh yeah, some of those understandable, but then the flip side, of course, is we got a new Octopath announcement.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah, well, but then even then, they're still having to confirm the new games that are going to the platform that are on other platforms.
Yeah.
I suppose the positive of that, because the one thing you've seen in the past is just third parties skipping the console entirely. So the benefit of this going forward is that we're now seeing more and more support for some of these games coming to the console for the first time.
But then it would be probably more exciting to learn about the new games that come out over the next, let's say, 6 months that are third party, and a new game.
Yeah, like Mafia.
Yeah, like Mafia.
Is Mafia going to Switch too?
I don't think so. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe someone in the chat knows, but I don't think. But that's the kind of announcement that would be exciting. Not to play the 3, 4, 5-year-olds. I mean, Cyberpunk is cool, but it's 5 years old, right? And I think that is what the Switch 2 needs. They need to let people know that, yeah, we support third-party games now, because that was the biggest problem of the Switch 1, right? The Switch 1 was basically a Nintendo exclusive console.
Because and then until Bethesda got their hands on it a little bit and put Wolfenstein and Doom on there for the first time, and that was the first time.
That was also like 3 years after those games came out.
Yeah, they were old, but that was the first time we saw.
Yeah, and we saw Witcher 3 going there 4 or 5 years after it came out, and we saw Harry Potter, not Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy going there 2 years or so after launch. And yes, there is a handful of third-party games, but for the most part, if the third-party games skip the Switch 1, right? And that's just because of the absolutely weak hardware, because developers were not able to get, or they had to put in so much effort that only the really, really big ones, like a Hogwarts Legacy or like a Witcher, were able to afford to put the cost down to make those games run on the Switch. And so if you wanted to play any of the third-party games, you kind of had to have either a PlayStation or an Xbox or a PC, and that's the hope, of course, for the Switch 2, that the Switch 2 is now at least as powerful enough to be able to support games like Mafia or like Borderlands or like, you know what I mean. And this is the thing that I would assume that the fan base would get really excited about. Yeah, it's cool to have Cyberpunk on there, but then again, it's 5 years old. So anyway,
but I think things like Cyberpunk being on there though kind of show that it is possible for the vast majority of third-party games to be able to run on there. If Cyberpunk can run on the Switch 2, so can everything else.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. So, developers out there, hear us out. Bring your games to the Switch.
Yes, I think they are definitely 100% improving. Yes, they're getting some older titles on there, but it's clear with a raft of some of the newer ones as well going onto there, that they are starting to think about putting games on the Switch much quicker than they did in the past, which is good.
Yeah.
Whereas they just ignored it entirely previously. So,
Yeah.
like I say, for the vast majority of the time, I still play Switch for Switch games.
Yeah.
There will be the odd one where I want to play that on there as well, but
that's also a good point. That's the reason why my Switch One is basically collecting dust. It is the one console I only use for really exclusives. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
when a Zelda comes out, I power it up. When a Mario comes out, I power it up. Or when a Metroid or something like that comes out.
you know what I need to have a one moan about. Modern, it's a first world problem moan.
Okay,
And I still don't know why they haven't solved it. Pokemon. Still to this day, you can only have a singular save. A singular save.
Okay.
And there isn't a save file. It's not like like you don't go on and there isn't like a save file to choose from. It's just you start the game. Once you've started the game, that's your save. The only way to start a new game is to go into the settings on the Switch and delete your save data and then reopen the game. And then you can start a new game. But then that means your old game is completely deleted into existence, doesn't exist anymore. That's the only way to do it. There is no save slots.
That is ridiculous.
And especially if you're like sharing a console or anything like that. There's like you can't. No two people can play the game. It's just a single save. Please, for the love of God, Pokemon. I don't know who needs to hear this, but change it. Sometimes, like you say, sometimes you want to have your old one backed up and saved because you've got everything unlocked and everything, blah blah blah.
Just do a new,
and then you just sometimes just want a brand new, fresh playthrough, whilst still having the old save there. And there's been loads of times where I've got, especially Scarlet. I'd love to play Scarlet all over again, but I've like caught 397 of the Pokemon, and the only way to start a new game is to delete and remove all of those from existence. No, that took way too much time. Not doing that. So I'm never playing that again. So pain in the arse. Sort out Pokemon, please.
Absolutely. All right, Dutch. Let us move on from the Nintendo Direct and let's talk about Xbox for a minute. The quarterly earning report is out. And
yes.
I mean, surprise, right?
To be
Shareholders are probably going to be pretty happy. The Xbox revenue grew 13% this quarter. And Game Pass surpassed a $5 billion yearly revenue for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Hardware sales are down again, 22%.
Who would have known?
Who would have guessed? Exactly.
Who would have guessed this was going to happen?
True that. But yeah, $5 billion in revenue for the first time for Game Pass is pretty good. Overall, the Xbox revenue, the gaming division grew 13%. It's pretty much pretty good growth given the last quarter. And with $5 billion a year in Game Pass, I think it undermines the argument that we sometimes hear, right? That Game Pass isn't sustainable. It is doing pretty well, which isn't surprising. If it wouldn't do well, they would have shut it down. They are smart enough to not run an unhealthy business, right? Of course, in the general revenue or earnings report, Satya Nadella also talked about how the company is making absolute record profits, and there is a certain taste to hearing that, right? When they just laid off 9,000 people.
Yep.
So, what are your thoughts on this earning report, Dutch?
Yeah, I mean it's obviously great to see the company is successful. It's still, especially the amount of turnover that they've got and the percentage of increase in revenue that they've got, still slightly baffling as to why they felt the need to get rid of so many jobs.
Yeah.
It's clearly, if you think about all of those combined wages, even if let's get the old calculator out, shall we? We'll say an average wage of about $100,000 because they're paid handsomely over in America. Times out 9,000 jobs.
Well,
so 900
million.
Yeah. If you include the employment taxes that the company has to pay, you're probably looking at closer to 1.2 billion.
Let's say a billion plus minus.
Yeah, billion plus minus. And if you're thinking about the overall division, is 15% up. They've made 5 billion just on Game Pass. That's not including contents and services, which is also up. I mean, did they divulge? I can't remember if they divulged the total amount of money they generated for Xbox.
They did, but I can't remember the exact number. But anyway, I see where you're getting with this. I mean, that's the thing, right? Cutting costs, talking a lot about how AI is changing the game, does the job cheaper, blah blah blah. Yet, if we look straightly or directly at the gaming division, I haven't forgotten about them canceling games like Everwild and basically putting Rare in a position where who knows if the next wave will not lead to closure of a studio like Rare, right? Perfect Dark being shut down or cancelled after being in development for what 7 years. All those things. Yeah, I mean they do well. They grow, of course, with all the studios they have, with the multi-platform strategy, with mobile being now a big part of the thing. They do grow, but yeah, I can't really be happy for them when the result of this is laying off people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think personally I'll ever be happy for a corporation making billions of dollars. The only thing that this cements, and it will always cement, is as long as they're making a profit, there isn't a risk of that company stopping doing what they're doing.
BT Maverick in the chat, by the way, says 23 billion, up 2 billion from last year.
Okay, right. Okay,
billion,
so
for Xbox total revenue. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's up. So basically, it's 1/23 of their annual revenue. Maybe it's 1/22 of their annual revenue. So it's not.
Yeah.
It's not the biggest of outlays. And I mean, even if they shaved half of that, it would have still saved them $500 million. But even then, you're talking about is it worthwhile doing that? Is AI really going to save that much time and money? Because of course, for AI, what you need is more data centers. More cooling.
Justin in the chat says they save 2.07 billion per year by letting those 9K people
go. Yeah, give or take. But even still, I mean, they're the only ones that'll know whether or not that's worthwhile.
Absolutely.
But it's still shitty. But again, on the flip side, the one positive news for everybody is that it proves that Xbox is going nowhere. As a company, like hardware, it's clearly nose diving off a cliff.
Absolutely.
But as an actual company, Xbox isn't going anywhere. It's massively profitable. It's seeing increases across the board apart from in hardware. So there's the positive news side of things. And we also saw, of course, from the latest quarterly PlayStation figures, which is slight side note here. Like a significant portion of the quarterly sales of PlayStation were all Xbox and Microsoft games.
Yeah.
It was like 7 out of the top 10.
That's really not a surprise if you look at what they've released over the last quarter, right? It's games like Doom, South of
Minecraft,
Midnight.
still there.
Yeah, exactly. Oblivion. And so on. And then, of course, also the releases on PlayStation come into place, right? Where they did pretty well. We'll get into that specifically in a second. But yeah, so I mean, that's all good, right? The gaming division itself is healthy and will continue to grow somehow, even with less people on board and a few less games. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, the hardware thing is something we discuss. Like, it feels like we discuss that every 3 months after each quarterly report, right? We hear numbers somewhere in between 20 to 30% going down. Obviously, we are pretty late already in the console lifetime, right? The consoles are out for 5 years now. There's already heavy talk about next gen. Could be coming as early as next year, right? Of course, that's one part of the story when you talk about console hardware sales. But then overall, the strategy going multi-platform, putting way more focus now on PC, right? Announcing that the ROG LEX, a PC handheld, right? All those rumors about next gen, it being Windows only, people might be switching already then to PC or Steam, and then just wait and see what the next console actually will be like. So it's really not a surprise about the declining hardware sales. It's just the one thing, yes, they've announced just recently, a couple of weeks ago, right, with AMD, the partnership and so on. And I still thoroughly believe that they fully intend to release a new proper console. The question will be, is there going to be one after that? Or what's going to happen to the bean counters at Microsoft, right? If a division like Xbox is growing like that and still has to suffer ridiculously high layoffs and studio closures, and Xbox telling one day, hey, it's just 4 games, and then the next day they tell you this and that, and they have changed their messaging so many times and so frequently that I do understand why people feel like,
and it's not only that,
announcements are not worth anything anymore, right?
Yeah.
Even them announcing a new console, who knows? The next day Satya comes along, hey, that console isn't profitable for us to have it. And we can also sell everything on PC and be done with it.
It's games as well, though, by the looks of things, because of course it's a case of why get excited about announced games now, not knowing if that's going to be one that gets cancelled in a couple of years, or close to release.
Yeah.
Like Perfect Dark, they probably must have invested God knows how many hundreds of millions into an entire studio and partnership and the game, and then canned it.
Absolutely.
And Everwild, exactly the same. God knows how much was invested into that and canned it. And a number of other games that are in the background that were being canned.
Exactly.
It's like,
and then at the same time,
like you say, same with if it's declining on consoles, and even at the same time, the division is super profitable and it's seeing massive increase in everything, but they're still cancelling games and closing studios. It makes you think, what on earth is going on?
Yeah, and that partnered with the very mixed messaging and changes in strategy, like every other day, and then them testing the waters now, right, with third-party hardware partners, with Asus, ROG LEX, Xbox ROG LEX, right? Who's to say that they are not outsourcing the console hardware powered entirely? And I know there are a lot of people out there, then just go to PC, and but it's a very different experience to play on a PC and on console, and I want to keep the console experience. I love console gaming way more than I do PC gaming. So, but that's me. But yeah, I mean, overall, again, the entire division is growing, and of course, big role plays the fact that they are selling a lot of games on PlayStation, right? Matt Piscatella put out the top 10 best-selling games, physical and full digital games combined, and maybe some of you guys have seen it on one of the social media channels, because there's a screenshot going around that everyone is sharing at the moment. And the thing is, right, best-selling games on PlayStation in the second quarter of this year. Number 1, Forza Horizon. Number 2, Oblivion. Then we have one Sony game, right, with MLB. Then number 4, Call of Duty. Number 6, Doom. Number 5, Doom. Number 6, Indiana Jones. Number 7, Minecraft. And the list goes on, right? So in the top 8, we have like one Sony game and 7 Microsoft games. That's a crazy picture to look at. If we would go back like 5 years, and you would have told that to someone, everyone would have thought you're crazy, that this is the reality in 25. And
Gears of War hasn't even launched yet.
It hasn't even launched yet, yeah. And that's just Q2 of 25. So, yeah. I mean, the multi-platform strategy pays off, at least short term, as expected, right? Of course, selling games on more platforms is going to bring you more money. The question will be, is it going to be sustainable for the console space? We just discussed that. And at the same time, it looks like Sony is looking also into a multi-platform strategy, because that has been a big discussion point this week in the community, Dutch, because Sony is looking to hire a senior director for its multi-platform commercial strategy. And after that job posting, the gaming community it went crazy, right? Tons of speculation out there about Sony going to bring the whole slate to Xbox, because the job posting specifically said, yeah, right, you're going to support our multi-platform strategy to bring games to PC, Switch, and Xbox. So, Dutch, I have many thoughts on this, but I want to hear yours first. What do you make of this job posting? Is it really the thing that the community makes it? Many in the community make it out to be? Is PlayStation going to follow suit and bring their first-party games also to Xbox? What do you think, man?
Yes. Ultimately, yes, absolutely. You go where the money is. Even if you think the money is small, no matter what it is, it's money. Money is money. You don't leave money on the table. Been saying this for a long time. It makes no difference if it's 10 million, 50 million, 20 million, 30 million, 35 million. That's still a big chunk of sales left out that you haven't already got that you can be getting. Now, they've also got a nice little taster to see how it does when they've got Helldivers 2 releasing soon, to see how that goes. MLB clearly did very well on the console because it continues to be put on the console. It was put in the Game Pass for a significant amount of time, and it did very well. It was one of the highest played games on there. So MLB did well. Helldiver 2 is going over there. You will see a few more going over as time goes on, some of the older stuff. just while they test the water and see how things goes on. But much like the rest of the industry, like Square Enix and Co., a lot of them are saying we're no longer going to be doing these exclusives because there isn't no financial benefit to doing exclusives anymore. Like, we get this little upfront payment from a provider, but ultimately long-term sales goals doesn't really benefit us because we end up losing out in sales because we're not putting games where they could be. And then it doesn't hit sales targets, and we wonder why, and that's because it's only on one platform. So Sony tested the water initially by putting games on PC. They then had a little test of see how MLB was doing, and that wasn't by choice. That was because the MLB said you have to.
Yeah.
And then, of course, now they've got Helldiver going over there, and I think that's one of their first testers to see how Helldivers does.
Yeah.
But ultimately,
also not a first-party game, though.
It's not, but it is published or at least originally published by them. Yeah. And it will be Sony that pops up on screen again as a published title. It's the first Sony published title, believe it or not, that is going on there because the MLB published MLB.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a money rules. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that they have to go quick. It doesn't mean that they're going to be day and date. But what it does mean, though, is that games will ultimately, slowly but steadily, even if it's a little trickling stream at first, where it's just the odd couple of games, it's a case of testing the water and seeing how things goes, and steadily increasing it. They still Sony's not going to be anywhere near as quick as Xbox in how they do things. They're still going to initially vast majority PlayStation only, but I think you'll see more different kinds of titles going over. I wouldn't be surprised if dead IPs like Days Gone come over. They've already denied doing a sequel to that one. They've already kind of left that one dead in the water, so I wouldn't be surprised if old IPs like Days Gone come over. It's not really something you can sell a new platform on if there's no new game to come over on.
I mean, that's a very similar point as Dustin in the chat makes. He says Spider-Man 2018 isn't making Sony any money anymore. Why not port it to a new audience, right?
Yep, older dead games that you can't get anything out of. Why not? It doesn't mean you have to bring the newest one over. You can just bring 2018 over for the first. Let them have that for a bit. Make some more money. Sweet. It doesn't harm anybody. Everyone who's got a PlayStation's already played it, or have owned it, or been on PlayStation Plus, or have no interest exactly. So why not? And then a couple of years down the line, they do the same thing with Spider-Man 2, because at that point, it's already sold as much as it can sell everywhere, whether it be PC or console. So you're not losing anything. So it's personally, I think that's the strategy. They didn't buy Nixxes to just make PC ports. They bought Nixxes as a porting company. They are
that is true.
there to port games. They didn't.
Yeah.
So
that is true.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just increased Nixxes, give them a few hundred more heads, and went, have at it, make us more money. The game's already there. You just need to port them to these consoles. You've already got the equipment from Helldivers. You've already got the equipment from MLB. So we don't need to worry about being able to port them. You know how to. So have at it. Make us money, ultimately. So yeah, I think it isn't, the job posting doesn't say live service specifically.
No, it just says
it doesn't state anything like that. It states IP going onto multiple platforms or managing IP on multiple platforms.
Yeah. So I have a very I'm not 100% sure what my thoughts about this is, because I can hear everything you've said, and I do agree with you. It makes sense. I'm not saying it wouldn't make sense. Everything you said, I agree. But then it's Sony, and Sony has started their PC, bringing games to PC thing, I want to say 6-7 years ago now. Yeah, and they've steadily increased the amount of games that they brought over.
Yeah.
To this day, except for second-party published games like Helldivers. They haven't done that day and date, right?
Nope. And
Nothing.
they still won't.
They
There's definitely won't, I don't think.
so and it's also not the whole slate on PC, right? There are still plenty of games you can only play on the console. Astrobot, for instance.
Astrobot's pretty much one of the only ones from the big franchises that can only be played on console. Both God of Wars are now, both Spider-Mans are now, both The Last of Us is now, both Horizons are, Ratchet and Clank is.
But none of these games have come day and date. They've always come like
no. I
3
mean, that's what I'm saying.
after launch.
I don't think it'll be day and date, but I think ultimately most, if not all, of their IP will be on PC.
Yeah, I agree. That's not what I meant. I'm just saying they are still keeping some exclusives for the console already when we are just talking PC and PC and console. Yeah. And then that's the one aspect. So if the multi-platform strategy would be something that they see totally as, this is the thing that makes us shitload of money, I think they would bring their games closer to launch to PC, not like years after. Yeah, more like months after. They haven't even done that move. And then
I think that's more a logistical thing than it is.
Is it
a want thing? I think it is.
No, I think it's something else. Let me elaborate.
Yeah.
Let me elaborate. I think it's something else. The thing is, but first, one other point. So this is the one thing. Then you also look at, okay, this whole games as a service initiative they had that miserably failed, obviously. They haven't brought out shit, canceled ton of games. We talked about this plenty of times. The thing is, of course, people look now and take always Helldivers as the one example, but it's also the only games as a service title that they've launched successfully and that they are bringing now a year later to Xbox. I think games as a service, they've Concord coming. Not Concord. Right. Marathon. Pardon me. They have Marathon coming. Right?
Maybe. Don't hold your breath on that one.
Let's assume they will bring it out. Just for the sake of argument, dude. Just for the sake of argument. So, they bring that out on Xbox as well. So, yeah, you have these games as a service titles. You have your weird ones like MLB, where they are kind of forced to bring it to Xbox and Switch, and it's. I think that's the job position right now, because if I look at this overall, Sony is very careful when it comes to their console ecosystem because that's all they have. If the console would be gone by tomorrow, Sony would be broke. Yeah, that's their biggest division that they have. They don't have any other shares in gaming. They don't have a PC storefront. They don't have a PC service thing like Xbox with Game Pass do, right? They PC is, yes, we sell software and we make money off of that by selling Last of Us and Spider-Man and stuff and God of War on Steam. Yeah, we make money off of that. But then we really don't believe into the platform because we know it's going to hurt our main business, and the main business is the console. And that's a very different thinking than Microsoft has, because clearly Microsoft doesn't see the console anymore as their main business in gaming. And I'm not talking hardware sales, I'm talking storefronts, because that's where the money is, right? You make the money with the storefront. PlayStation makes the money with the PlayStation Store. Xbox makes the console makes the money with the storefront. And that's where the money is. But Xbox has been kind of giving up on the console space, right? Not entirely. I know that. You know what I mean. It's the whole mentality is way more focused on PC because Xbox is Microsoft and Microsoft owns PC, right?
Yeah.
And Sony doesn't have that, so they will be very, very careful. Much more careful than Xbox because they have to be much more careful than Xbox to devalue the console space by bringing games over. So, and that's why I am not seeing entirely this discussion. And I've seen so many posts. Oh, now everything is coming to Xbox. As much as I would love that to get simply rid of exclusives entirely, and then let's really focus on hardware or better ecosystem or better, and I don't have to buy like 3 consoles and own that. I would love that future, but since the console is such a crucial part of the business, that's why they haven't put the game's day and date on PC, because they are scared to lose console sales. Now, with the console, they sell the storefront. They are very careful with that. Is that sustainable in 5 to 10 years from now? With the way how the industry is changing, I doubt it. I absolutely doubt it. But is Sony wise enough to see that and thoroughly invest into, okay, let's bring Spider-Man and God of War over to Xbox. Let's try and release Ghost of Yotei day and date on PC. They are not here yet, and they won't be for a while. They won't be for many years. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's out of the impossible that they might eventually bring a Spider-Man from 2018 to Xbox. But this whole discussion I've seen is always, oh, now the whole slate is coming to Xbox. And that's absolutely not going to happen. Not now and not in the next couple of years.
No. I think to conflate the same users of PC and PlayStation, I think is I can't see that damaging PlayStation hardware sales at all.
Yeah.
If anything, it's an entirely different, as you know, it's an entirely different set of gamers that play on console versus play on PC. Those that are trying to, like, if you, for the vast majority, those who want to play PlayStation games on PC will need at least a mid to high end PC in order to play them at a decent quality. Otherwise, what's the point? So the vast majority of those will stick to the $400-500 PlayStation Slim or regular PlayStation or PlayStation Pro, whatever it is that they choose.
Yeah.
But again, you'll see, and I'm sure they'll show in the sales at some point, you'll see the very small margin of those that are PlayStation gamers willing to invest in a $900+ console, which is the PlayStation 5 Pro. If that is the case and those numbers are as small as we suspect they will be, and for instance, out of the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro, when we saw the difference between the regular model and the amount of people that bought the Pro version, it wasn't even like 5% of the entire, maybe 10% at most of the entire user base, which was like 100 million, which so obviously that's tiny for them. That's not a big margin at all. Plays Pro. Now, if you're trying to then look at what portion of that would realistically buy a gaming PC for the same value as a Pro console just to play PlayStation games, you're not going to make a dent in the market that you would theoretically lose that would buy your consoles because they weren't going to buy your console in the first place. They're not your gamer. It's an entirely different market.
Yeah.
So I don't think, and this is why I think that they will move closer and closer to PC day and date, because it does not harm the console. It doesn't, not in the console sales market. Entirely different class of gamer.
I agree. I mean, just look at the over the last couple 6-7 years. Yeah, they went from two. Someone in the chat said that also earlier. Went from 3 years to 2 years to 15 months to something like that. Closer and closer to launch.
I think the only problem ultimately they've got currently is Nixxes is the only team that they've got that does a good job at porting games. The one game, I think they launched a game on PC. I'm sure it was The Last of Us Part 1 when it first launched on PC, was dog shit. That wasn't ported by Nixxes.
Yeah, they had a couple of
they've been like
Nixxes
PC
launches. They had a couple of rough PC launches.
And those games weren't launched by Nixxes. So I think the issue they've got, and this is why I said it's a logistical problem, is logistically, if the only good team that you've got can make these ports is Nixxes, there's only so many games you can put on PlayStation at any one time that will meet a decent quality standard at release. And what you don't want to do is damage your sales by releasing terrible ports, because that PC guys are ruthless when it comes to hammering your games. Yeah. Hammering your game if it's shit. They will just turn it on, and especially with Steam, because they've got such a large window to get a refund, unlike on PlayStation, where the moment you download that game, you can't. Unless it's completely broken, in which case they have the occasional one where the developer says refund them. PC, you get like 2-3 hours. You can play the game, and if it's dog shit, then you can refund it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're learning the hard way via that, and I think ultimately for them, the logistical problem is why it's not sped up in release. Not because they wouldn't. I think it's just because from a physical standpoint, they just can't ramp up the releases of these games quick enough. They can't do it.
That is also a very good point. I mean, it's a solvable problem, right? There are tons of studios out there that do support the day-and-date releases. All the Xbox studios basically do that now on PC and the console anyway, and then many of the games, Gears and so on, Oblivion, Doom, they all came day-and-date to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, right? So it is a solvable problem. It is not something you cannot take care of if you are serious about bringing games everywhere. I do see that definitely being a strategy for games as a service titles. Definitely. We've seen it with Helldivers that came day and date PC and console, right? And we will continue to see that. With the single player games, again, I wouldn't put my hopes up too much that we will suddenly be able to play God of War and Horizon and Spider-Man and all the good stuff on Xbox. That's just different. What I can see though, let me finish with that. What I can see though is if Xbox, of course, brings out the new console that is heavily rumored, and we have suggested that for many years now, to be honest, on the podcast, that the new console is going to run on Windows. That's, of course, an entirely different story, because then you can just play the Steam version whenever it comes to PC, right? And maybe that's also part of the multi-platform strategy. We don't have to do shit about our games because they are there because Steam is on Xbox, right? So we shall see, man.
I think I would never rule out old games, especially IPs that are dead, coming over to Xbox. or games that have simply just completely run out of ways to make money from it because it's just that old. Like I say, Spidey 2018, it's sold past its capabilities right now. There is no other way for PlayStation to force, unless they bring out another remaster. The only way to get a new audience is to bring it to a new platform, whether that be Xbox or Nintendo. And again, it's just money on the table. Why not? It wouldn't take much to port it over, especially 2018. It's not like it had some magic miracle thing that required it. Same with God of War 2018. There's nothing else they can really do for that. It's sold as much as it can sell on both platforms. Again, Days Gone. They've released the PlayStation 5 Pro version. They've released it on PlayStation 5. They've released it on PlayStation 4. It's on PC. It's done. It's as much as they can do now. It's done. There is no new audience for them to gather other than other platforms. So old games, old IPs, if they wanted to make money, I would not be surprised to see old titles. But one thing I don't think you will ever see from PlayStation, which is different to what Xbox do, is I don't think you will ever see day and date from PlayStation on Xbox. Ever. I think they will remain a big distance between when they release on PlayStation to if they ever release on Xbox. So if they do go third party, which I think that will happen in the future, because again, it's shifting tides. It's the entire industry's moving in that direction, apart from Nintendo, who just do their own thing, and they're still selling record number of Switch 2s and games, etc. They don't need to worry about any of that because they're just perfectly fine in their own little bubble. But from a PC, Xbox, PlayStation perspective, they need to, how do we make more money and how do we kind of continue to do this? Because they're not, unlike Nintendo, who sell, in some cases, a game for every 2 Switches sold, which is just fucking insane.
Yeah.
PlayStation and Xbox are nowhere near that. Absolutely nowhere near that amount. Nowhere, miles off. Like, even at their peak, PlayStation was doing 20 million sales for every 120 million consoles. You know what I mean? It's like, that was their peak. 20 million of 120 users was their best, or 25 million. That was, okay, we've hit massive peak here. Super successful. 25 million sold, but out of 125, 140 million users.
Yeah.
There's a big gap in that for potential sales elsewhere. So do I rule out PlayStation being completely third party at some point? No. But what I will rule out is them being day and date on Xbox or anywhere close to that. I think if they do release older first party titles on Xbox, it will be year, 2 years, 3 years after, when they've already milked it for all it's worth on their own platforms. Then they go, right, there's no other avenue now, we can put it over here. That'll be the only time.
Agreed. All right, Dutch, let us move on from this and switch back to Xbox. Better said, the ROG Xbox LE. They haven't officially announced the price yet, right? And there's a lot of speculation circling around and different rumors. And this week, we got a pretty good one because they accidentally reported some prices for Europe, right? With $599 for the standard Xbox LE and €899, so basically €900 for the Xbox ROG LE. And apparently, and it makes sense, the pre-orders start with the kickoff of Gamescom on August 20th. Right? So, I mean, these prices that are rumored / leaked are pretty much a safe bet, right? 600 for the standard version, 900 euros for the ROG Xbox LEX. Sounds realistic, right? Is it good? Is it too high? Probably a little bit. With 900 euros, you're not going to address in any way, shape, or form the casual market. You gotta be a
Nope.
die-hard gaming fan to pay 900 euros for a handheld, a
Yeah.
PC handheld.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will still look at. I mean, a lot of if those outside of Xbox users will still very much be looking at Steam Deck because that is one of the cheapest ways to get into PC handhelds, if not the cheapest.
It is also one of the handhelds that still get kind of subsidized. Probably not really subsidized, but at least they don't have to make a profit off of it. But at the end of the day, not Xbox is selling the ROG Ally, but it's Asus, and Asus doesn't have a store with the Steam
I want to
Deck.
give a quick interruption here and a shout out to BT Maverick, who has clearly been taking directions from Boxy here. He sent a $2 super chat and said this money is going towards Dutch's Xbox Ally.
There you go. There you go. I appreciate the support, BT Maverick. We gotta get him on an Xbox ROG Ally. Even if it's the lower spec one at 600, Dutch, you're gonna love that.
No, you know me. You know me.
I know you.
The Ally X.
The Ally X. That's the way to go. I mean, it's worth it for me because I actually do use my current ROG Ally a lot. And I'm looking forward to the upgrade. Mainly the performance upgrade. Of course, I'm interested in the
nice grips, the nice actual Xbox grips,
and the new user interface, which isn't a unique selling point though, because the older Allies will get it also a little later. But yeah, especially the hardware upgrade is what I'm really looking forward to. And the Steam Deck, I do agree, is probably the cheapest thing, but it is also pretty limiting yourself towards Steam, right? I know you can jailbreak it and you can install other storefronts on there, but 0.01% of the users are actually doing that, right? So yeah, the Steam Deck is selling the storefront makes the money, right? And with the Xbox ROG Ally X, and it's a kind of a similar thing, but Asus is not making any money off of the storefront. So they kind of have to sell it at a profit. So 900 sounds realistic. Would still have preferred it if they placed it at least at 800. It's a symbolic thing, I know. But anyway, I think it's a realistic thing. Pre-orders apparently go up in 20 days on August 20th. I'll be definitely pre-ordering that thing. I hope I can do it because actually on August 20th, I'm in Denmark. And sometimes, the German storefronts, if you have...
Do you honestly think it'll sell out straight away, or do you think it'll be okay?
I mean, the original one did sell out pretty quickly. I mean, they restocked also pretty quickly, but there was a short period of time where you couldn't pre-order anything. So, yeah, I'll be pre-ordering the thing if I have the chance to do that from Denmark. But anyway, the ROG Ally X is also going to be playable at Gamescom, Dutch.
It is.
It is.
And there's a certain indie game that's going to be playable on it as well.
Let's talk about Gamescom. Xbox has announced their lineup for Gamescom this week. You already spoiled the super exciting thing about it, right? It's Xbox at Gamescom, right? they've announced, all right, you're gonna be able to play for the first time. Public gets to play the ROG Xbox LE and the ROG Xbox LE X. You will be able to play Hollow Knight on that thing, Silksong. Yeah. You will be able to play Roblox, Sea of Thieves, and Tony Hawk. But the one that everyone is excited about is, of course, Silksong. It's going to be playable at Gamescom in the Xbox booth on the ROG Xbox LE.
I can only imagine now the queues for playing Silksong in the Xbox booth are going to be fucking
Insanely
ridiculous.
long. Yeah.
Like if Black Myth Wukong's queues were anything to go by.
What was it? It was like 6 hours wait to play.
6-7 hours,
and
that
it was a massive booth. It
was
wasn't like they had like one PC up there. It was
they had like 20 PCs, and
it was
still
more than 20.
Wait.
That was like
probably
would say at least 40 to 50 PCs. It was a massive booth, dude.
Yeah.
And still 6 hours of wait. And it's pretty much going to be the same at the Xbox booth with the ROG Xbox LE. But it's good to see the thing then finally in public hands to get, like, really unbiased hands-on impressions from people. Because sometimes, it's you get a very different feeling when you are invited as someone from the media, press, or bigger influencers get invited from Xbox to get a very dedicated hands-on session, and then and you get some nice food along with it, and everyone is excited then about the thing, right? And that's exactly what happened after when they revealed the thing back in June. But this time you actually get a pretty good, decent idea of what it's going to be like. And yeah, man, Silksong. I hope we will get a release date announced.
I think so. I mean,
I'm thinking
Team Cherry would be losing their marbles at this point, considering this game's, according to them and Xbox, releasing by the end of the year. They'll be losing their marbles if they don't mention it at this point.
I agree. My guess is it's gonna be opening night live. Silksong will be at Keighley show and will get a release date. There you go. Grounded 2 will be playable. I always find it kind of weird to play games that are out already for weeks at a booth, like Gamescom booth. I'm not going to play games that I can play at home or have played at home already. Same goes for Age of Empires and Age of Mythology and so on. Ninja Gaiden 4 will be playable though, which is good. Indiana Jones, The Great Circle, the DLC, The Order of the Giants will be playable. The Flight Simulator will be playable. Outer Worlds 2 will not be playable. There will only be a theater presentation, right? And then you have a couple of playable demos from third parties. Borderlands 4 will be playable. Metal Gear Solid will be playable at the booth. Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 7 will be playable, and Super Meat Boy. So overall, I think it's
Super Meat Boy 3D.
Yeah. Black Ops 7 will be revealed at the opening night live on August 19th. That's what they've confirmed.
Speaking of competitors to Black Ops, Battlefield 6 has also confirmed its beta dates.
Yes, they have.
Early access is August 7th to 8th. Open Beta Weekend 1 is August 9th to 10th. Open Beta Weekend 2 is August 14th to 17th. And release date for Battlefield 6 is October 10th.
Which is... I mean, don't get me wrong, Open Beta, always great. But the release date in October, is that really a good idea? is October really a good idea for Battlefield 6? Because we all know Call of Duty will be October as well.
I mean, it's been getting a lot of hate recently for the skins that have been putting on Call of Duty. And there's a lot of people saying this is going more into the Fortnite realms here. This is not why we play Call of Duty. Yes,
And
they make
usually-
bucket loads of money from skins as well, but I feel like there's going to be a good portion of people that want to play something that's a little bit more realistic. And with Battlefield returning a campaign for a change, as well as having the multiplayer modes and battle royale and everything like that, and being a little bit more grounded in modern warfare.
Yeah.
It has a good chance if they hit the ground running at being an actual competitor to Call of Duty this year.
I know it does all sound like it. I mean, I think the one thing that could help them is that usually, if history has taught us anything about Call of Duty, after them releasing a good one, the next one is usually shit. And last year's was good.
I agree.
So it's a pretty safe bet that this year's is gonna be shit. And of course, that could help them. That could help them. I think also the announcement from Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, this week, that they will not do an $80 price tag for Battlefield 6. Is good. They don't do that.
That's surprising from EA.
It's surprising, but I think they have seen the reactions of people towards $80 games. I mean, look at Outer Worlds 2. The game looks absolutely fantastic, and nobody talked about how good the game looks and how fun it will be. Everyone was just hating on the price. And if you really want to bring out a big thing with Battlefield 6, and if you want, I mean, what they said is, they've said some ridiculous stuff, but at least they say, hey, this is going to be our big new thing. We want to keep supporting that. We have a proper content roadmap already laid out, regular support. It all sounds good. Don't ruin it with the $80 price point just for the sake of greed. Not in a world where most games as a service titles are free to play, not in the shooter space, where you have so much competition with Call of Duty releasing in the same window like you do. So, I mean, I do wish them the best for Battlefield 6, because I feel like really good Battlefield is something that the gaming market needs.
Yeah.
Is that going to be
better? To be fair, when Battlefield's good, it is really good, and it's online when you've got a group of friends playing Battlefield in a a really hectic war zone scenario. Which is something only Battlefield can really present you. It is amazing. Like, it's so good when it's like really kicking off, and there's like people flying over the top, and there's tanks firing off here and there, and there's some
the choppers flying in, and
it's just absolute chaos. One of the issues I had with the previous one, initially they launched, and obviously they had the performance issues, but then they had this really weird attachment system for your gun where you had to fucking press one button and then select the attachment that you wanted when you started, and then every time you died and you respawned, you had to select your fucking attachments again. And it was like, don't do that ever again, please. Just whatever my loadout is, that's what I'm launching with. Okay, great, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. So yeah, man.
But when it's really good, like for instance, going back to Battlefield 5 and even Battlefield 1, like when it's really good, it's really fucking good in those online situations. There's very few games that really get the blood pumping when you're playing multiplayer games like that, like Battlefield, or if you're talking battle royales, for instance, still to this day, one of the best battle royales for being nervous in the final end zone is still PUBG. Like in an actual firefight, in PUBG, it feels like it's life or death. It feels like, Jesus Christ, like, back off. We need to back off, otherwise you will die. And you have that thing. Whereas in the likes of Call of Duty, in the likes of Battlefield, etc., in some circumstances you can kind of go toe on toe with someone for a while and you'd be absolutely fine, and like nothing really happens. But yeah, I'm looking forward, and I really hope that the new Battlefield would be fantastic and bring that chaos back again.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. Is it really going to be the success? Again, the thing is, it's such a super competitive market in this day and age, right? And it'll be tough, but so far it looks good. I mean, the multiplayer gameplay that they've shown looks good, really good, actually. Campaign looks fun. Price point is good. Release date, I would have released a little later or earlier, probably a little later. I would have released a month after Call of Duty. Make it the Christmas game, you know? Make it end of November, an end of November release, and then people are hyped, nothing new comes out to distract them, go into the Christmas break and be the game that people play over the Christmas break. Probably would have been a little bit smarter for them, but hey, who am I? I'm not in the strategic position to make those kind of decisions, and so yeah, let's see on Battlefield 6. I'm definitely going to check out the beta though.
Yeah. I want to see how it feels to play.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Ultimately, that's what will matter. How does it feel? Not so much how does it perform, because some of these open beta weekends are technical shit shows.
Agreed.
Like server issues, trying to get into games, loading games, finding games. Like,
I mean, it's beta. Yeah, server issues are to be expected.
It's mainly once we get in, how does it feel and how does it play?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's see. We were talking about Gamescom though. So again, it's a pretty solid lineup that they have at the booth. Nothing super surprising, maybe outside of Silksong, although after them announcing that along with the ROG Alley, also could have been kind of expected, but nothing that blows your socks off. Outside maybe the ROG Xbox Alley. What do you expect to see? Not just maybe from Xbox, maybe from other things. I mean, the opening night live is going to happen. Do you have any expectations on what to see at Gamescom?
I honestly don't. You could get a surprise, but I'm not sure what it would be. You're going to get Final Fantasy's winter release date, because we still don't have Final Fantasy's Xbox winter release date yet.
Yeah.
We just know it's coming out. And of course, that will also confirm when it comes out on Nintendo, which I don't think they told us a release date today on Final Fantasy VII on Switch.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, yeah.
In which case, then, that obviously, if it's a playable version of Xbox at the booth, I would imagine they know what the release date will be. So possibly the Xbox release date for Xbox and Switch release date for that. But in terms of announcing things, I don't think there's nothing that stands out to me that they could announce.
I mean, if I look at the DLC, that's the one thing I was thinking of. I could see that because they have said literally, like, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? They've literally confirmed, hey, new DLC is coming and we are going to talk about it soon, at least this year. I could see that happening. To announce the Starfield DLC at opening night live in one of their events. I could see that. And then also, I think it could even be like a surprise. Hey, it's out now. Because
Yeah.
if I look at Xbox this year, they have done that multiple times, right? Where they have Ninja Gaiden 2, hey, out now, right? Oblivion, literally, hey, stream tomorrow, bam, it's out.
Yeah.
Even things like Tony Hawk were kind of like no one saw that coming. They announced it, and it was out 2 months later. So I could see Starfield DLC being such a thing. I also feel
Ninja
like,
Gaiden 4 release date?
don't we have that already?
Nope.
You
It
sure?
just said it was releasing. Yeah, it was just said it was releasing like the end of the year.
Ninja Gaiden 4 release date. I could. October 21st.
Okay. I must have missed that. Was that announced in June?
I think so. It was during the showcase. I knew that I didn't remember the exact release date, but I knew that they have announced that. So
Okay, then I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know what else.
I usually Gamescom isn't the thing to announce big things.
No.
So
Like I
Starfield,
say, maybe it's a couple of little things. Maybe it's a couple of indie kind of things.
yeah,
Maybe
kind of those.
but nothing. I don't think anything big. I honestly don't. And I think people should really rein their expectations in. Obviously, you're going to have your Call of Duty, and people will be those that play it will be excited. Silk Song hopefully gets its release date, and of course that'll blow the internet up if it does. But yeah, outside of that, maybe Starfield DLC. I can't really see much else being spoken about.
I mean, what I'm a little surprised is that they didn't mention Keeper.
Oh, has that actually got a release date as well?
Yeah, 17th, October 17th.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be. You never know. They might show a little bit more off on that. But even then, that's like a linear narrative experience. So I don't know whether or not they would. Maybe they show a new kind of trailer-ish off, but not much.
I'm
because
surprised
it's
that
not.
it's not playable at the booth.
Maybe that's because it's just this kind of small story game, and they don't really want to spoil it.
Could be. Could be. But yeah, I also wouldn't assume. I assume, yeah, the rumors are going to be true. You're gonna be getting the official price for the ROG LEX. You're gonna getting the release date for the ROG LEX. I think that's the main focus. The whole, hey, an Xbox handheld, even though it's a PC handheld, but it's branded as Xbox. Is coming, and this is going to be the big talking point at Gamescom, and maybe the Starfield DLC. I could go down for some Starfield DLC now. I'd be in the mood for that, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. Let us change topics, and let's talk about Warner Brothers. Dutch. Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
super weird news this week. Very weird news. You remember Suicide Squad? An absolute
Yes.
failure for them. Games as a service title. I actually enjoyed it. I did it, especially the campaign. I did enjoy the campaign. I'm not saying it was a bad game, but it was a massive failure. Absolutely massive failure. And they are hiring at the moment for another live service game. They've come out. We're hiring. We want to do live service, games as a service, experience required, blah 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 blah. Have they learned nothing? I was so surprised to see that. It was like, guys, what made you money in the past?
The worst thing was about the Suicide Squad thing is it wasn't even meant to be live service in the first place, and they forced
Changed
them
it.
into making
Yeah.
that game live service.
Yeah.
It was the same with that Avengers game. That was never meant to be
That wasn't
live
Warner
service.
though. That wasn't Warner though. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah, but
agree with you.
this is what companies do. Like, this is what these companies do. They're just like, no, we need to make more money out of this, so it's gonna have to be live service, and you're gonna have to put microtransactions into it, and you're gonna have to. Why?
Why?
Fucking ruin these
Especially when you look back in the last decade or 15 years, what games have made them money? It's always the
Yeah.
high-profile single-player experience, the Arkham series, the Hogwarts Legacy game, right? Single player,
Yeah.
no bullshit microtransactions in there. Single player game, and went out to sell what? 20, 25, something in that ballpark million units. Just because it's a fantastic game. They have such talented studios. Rocksteady with the Arkham series. Everyone wants them to make a new one, right? We don't want another whatever. Is it going to be Hogwarts that they are turning into live service? Is it going to be Batman that they are going to take? Will they do a Superman thing? They just canceled Wonder Woman, right? It is so ridiculous to think that they can make a successful live service game in the year we are talking then what, 28 probably, 27, 28 at least. Have they learned nothing? I was honestly surprised.
Yeah. No, I don't think Warner Brothers have learned anything. No, they're still chasing residual monies.
Yeah.
Before, basically, they're trying to run before they can walk.
Yep.
Focus on making good games first before you even attempt to make something that has a live service element to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You used to make good games.
Yeah.
Once upon a
Such
time,
fantastic games. The Arkham
but you
series
need
was
to get
phenomenal.
back to doing exactly. You need to get back to doing that first. I mean, not even just the Arkham series. You have a look at the Lord of the Rings titles.
Right. Shadow,
The Nemesis system.
Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, and
Shadow of War, Shadow of War, whatever it was
Yeah.
called, with the Nemesis system in that they patented, and then they did fuck all else with it. I get back to making good games first, and then when you get back to making good games, then think about, okay, now we'll make a live service game, but focus on making good games first, then worry about how you'll get back into live service. Don't make a shitty live service game that doesn't do well, that was forced upon the developers to make that type of game when they didn't want to, and then try to make a brand new one and do the same shit all over again. It's like a definition of insanity.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So yeah, let's see how this goes with Warner Brothers, man. But anyway, Dutch, let us come to the community questions. Each and every week, you guys can write in. We put up posts, usually on Wednesday, on X, Blue Sky, YouTube. We put up posts everywhere, so you guys can write in topics or questions or anything you would like us to discuss here. And this week we got a bunch of really good ones. The first one comes from the Big Bridge, regular writer of fantastic questions. He asks, hey there, Boxy and Dutch. Hope you have a great podcast. Which video game villain or antagonist would you like to see as the hero or protagonist of their own game?
Sephiroth.
You stole mine. Sephiroth, definitely. That would make a fantastic protagonist.
Because the thing is with Sephiroth's story, like it's not like he isn't the ultimate evil. Yes, he goes down a route of like, fuck this, fuck everybody, fuck the world, everyone's got to die.
Yeah.
But his backstory didn't start off like that. He was once a hero. And his downfall was because of an evil corporation that really triggered him.
Yeah.
That's what triggered his madness. His descent into absolute madness is triggered by an evil corporation that doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So to see him be more of an anti-hero, should we say, and maybe he's go down the route of not trying to destroy the planet, but completely wiping out Shinra and going down that route and going, right, okay, well, fucking Shinra must die at all costs. And he's like the anti-hero that just tries to take out this massive army. Bring that story on.
Yes, please. Absolutely. Since we just talked about Warner Brothers and Rocksteady, I could see Rocksteady do they've portrayed one of the best Jokers ever, right? Mark Hamill did a phenomenal job with the Joker in the Arkham series, and make a game around those fantastic villains. The Riddler was great. In the Penguin was great. You could make like something in the Batman universe. The Batman universe is so rich of great villains. Make a game where they are the protagonists somehow.
Well, again, Joker's more of an anti-hero because he's not
he absolutely
against.
Is. Yeah, I mean, Sephiroth is definitely the best pick.
Yeah, I think Joker's in the same vein. Joker isn't against people per se. He's against the corporations. He's against
order. He's
monopoly,
all about anarchy. Yeah.
Anarchy against the state as opposed to against the people. He's trying to rile the people up to be on side, to take on the state, not the opposite way around. And it's pretty much the same as Sephiroth. Like he didn't want to go into this mass murdering rigmarole, but he set off in some mad psychosis because of what Shinra did. So both of those would be I'd love. I mean, I loved the Joker, the first Joker movie that they did, by the way, not the second,
the musical bullshit.
Yeah, not that one. The first one was fantastic.
Yeah. BT Maverick in the chat says, "Give me a real Eddie Brooke Venom game."
Good shout. Yeah, another anti-hero.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Pyromed writes in and says this: "No question, but would love a birthday shout out for yourself, Boxy, from last week and mine yesterday, as we are both 42 now. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, Pyro. My birthday was Friday last week, so it's already a few days.
You didn't mention it, the cheeky bugger. Happy birthday, Boxy.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
happy birthday, Pyro, as well.
Yeah.
To you too, sir. You old man.
Yeah, 42, dude. 42.
I've got 3 years to go until I'm in my 40s.
Yeah, you're a youngling, you know. I always feel so old next to you.
Yeah, at least you still got a head of hair.
Yeah. That's true. And only a few gray hairs. So
mine just migrated.
Yeah. All right. Gaming Scope writes in, and he asks this: I nearly always write from an emotional state in my gaming articles. This normally is well received in other audiences, but is there a place for emotive writing in game-related posts? Or would gamers prefer to read more factual inclined pieces?
No, I think emotive should be the way forward. I think games should evoke emotion, and therefore you should speak on the emotion that a game gives you.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
Absolutely. Obviously, it needs to be fact-based as well. I think there's a good mixture there to have it, but I think no, absolutely. Especially if you're doing like a short burst review, like okay, graphics were nice, gameplay was good, story was cool, etc., and it was just a short burst, and fine. But if you're doing full-fledged reviews, absolutely make it emotive. Yeah, 100%. There's every space for that. I think people would prefer to see if a game that you invested in emotionally, or what the game did emotionally to yourself, or how it made you think, or that's what the gaming's about, especially story games.
Especially since many gaming articles are focused on, if you just focus on facts and the actual news or the actual game. The thing is, how do I phrase that? In the day of social media, where you just scroll through your timeline and you get all the facts anyway. Yeah. Release date announced for game XYZ, you know? You don't have to read an article to get the facts. Most articles spoil the facts in the headlines and be done with it. If I actually take the time to read something, it's because I want to hear opinions, different thoughts on stuff, different takes on games or news items or so on. So there's absolutely a place in there, man. Charles,
I think as well, one thing that I've noticed from certain articles is they kind of just instead of like talking emotively about the story or any elements that was like emotive to them, they kind of just do a kind of summary on what the story's about. They're just like, and the protagonist is this guy, and this is this other protagonist, and this is what you do, and this is what the story synopsis is. And it's really like kind of like run of the mill. I feel like I have to just run through this to get a review out the door and then just summarize my thoughts at the end, as opposed to fully emotive reviews, which I think people would appreciate.
Absolutely. And let's be real, there is no such thing as a factual review. Every review is an opinion.
It's all opinion. Yeah.
All right. Charles Wilson writes in, and he starts with a statement. Could the announcement of the PlayStation director we mentioned earlier, could it be referring to MLB The Show, which is a PlayStation studio game that's on Xbox or Nintendo? Do you agree or disagree with Derek Strickland's theory about the PlayStation job position? I mean,
no.
I think we pretty much covered that earlier, right?
Yeah.
But thank you, Charles Wilson. Then Mambo Jazz writes in. We often talk about what is the best value in gaming, e.g. Game Pass. My question is, what is your worst value in gaming, but you can't help yourself from having it? Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, no. If there's something's terrible value, I don't get it.
Yeah, you do. You have a Nintendo. Come on.
Come on!
Factually based.
How dare you?
No, me too. I do. Yeah, but
I would say the worst value. You know what the worst value thing is that I don't have is PlayStation's bottom tier subscription, PS Essential. Fucking useless. What? Pointless.
It's a very good one. The one I don't have anymore. I used to have, but is VR. Let's face it, PlayStation VR is especially, I mean, it's a little bit better on PC, but even there, I don't think it's pretty good value. You pay a lot of money for, let's say, a PlayStation VR headset, and you only have like 3 games that are worth playing on it that all are super short, and you finish them in like 4 or 5 hours. And that's about it. I think that's really not a good value. I mean, before the people come at me and about the Nintendo comment, let me elaborate real quick. I think from my gaming devices, it's my least used device. because I only use it for the high-profile Nintendo releases. There are basically no third-party games on it. I do have a way better handheld anyway,
Yeah.
so I use it like once a year for the one Nintendo game that comes out. So is it really a good value I get out of this machine? Absolutely not. Is it worth it though? Yeah, otherwise I
I
wouldn't have
think
it.
one thing with Nintendo is if you'd have asked this question a couple of years back when Nintendo Online was just launching, I would have said Nintendo Online, because as much cheap as it is, there was nothing like
Yeah,
it. There's
there's
fucking
absolutely
nothing for it.
nothing. I mean, it
There was
it
really
also
no need to have
changed.
it, but now they've changed it. And it's got the the Nintendo Online and expansion pass, which is still only like 35 a year, which is cheap. And obviously you get the expansion pass. The only problem I've got with this at the minute as well is that it doesn't cover every game as it for expansions. Like, for instance, you don't get Pokemon expansions when Pokemon has releases.
Yeah,
You only get Mario
Mario
Kart
Kart.
or Smash Bros.
Yeah,
Or maybe whatever that life sim thing that people love is. I've forgotten the name of it.
yeah.
A couple of basic ones. You don't get all of the, like, if for instance Mario, like actual Mario released an expansion or anything, you don't get those. You only get select titles. But now at least what they have done is added all of these emulators to it. So you've got all of the historic Nintendo consoles are on there with a big range of games. You've now had Nintendo GameCube added with a range of games and will add to it as time goes on. Sega Mega Drive's added onto there. So they're adding more value to that as time goes on. And I think it'll only get better. So if you'd asked that question about Nintendo when they first launched that, I would have said that is the worst value in gaming that you need to have for certain things. But now it's adding value to it where you think, okay, there's actual
It's adding
benefits here.
nostalgic value, which can
Yeah.
be pretty hefty. I agree. I mean, the Switch one when it
And it's
came.
like you say, it's like 35 a whole year. It's not like
Yeah,
we're
it's
paying
super
like
cheap.
14 a month like
Yeah.
everybody else. It's like unbelievably cheap. So
Yeah, that is very true. I wanted to say something.
nostalgia.
Nope. When the Switch 1 came out, I thought it had a much better value than towards the end of its life cycle, because when the Switch came out, it was basically the only proper handheld out there.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of traveling. I still do, not as much as I used to like 8 years ago, but so it had a lot of value because it was my go-to handheld and I traveled a lot. There was a time in my life where I played most on the Switch simply because I was traveling all the time. That changed rapidly, of course, with the when 3 years ago or so, the PC handhelds all emerged, the Steam Deck and then the LEX and the Lenovo and so on. And now those are, of course, a much better value handheld, right? Because you can play so many games on them compared to the Switch.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's why the Switch is collecting more or less dust, and why I'm still torn whether to get the Switch 2, because the only thing I would be playing is a couple of hours of Mario Kart, 20-30 hours of Mario Kart, and then it would collect dust until the next Zelda game comes out.
No,
Yeah, Metroid.
because your games are transferable. Hallelujah. Because obviously, if you wanted to go back and play Tears of the Kingdom or any of those,
I'm not going to go back and play them again. I've already played them, finished them, enjoyed them,
okay,
but that's
fair
about
enough.
it.
Then, well, there you got the Metro Prime, obviously
Yeah, but I
Metroid
still
Prime.
can play that on the Switch 1, and then
yeah, you can. But are you realistically going to play that at launch on the Switch 1?
Absolutely, I will.
But a lot of their new games as well, and this is one thing that I suppose maybe surprised a few people, is Nintendo have held no prisoners in literally releasing Switch 2 only games. They've just
Yeah.
completely ditched from the start. Literally from the start, no cross-gen games.
Yeah.
It's like
Very old
Donkey Kong
school.
Bonanza, Switch 2.
Mario Kart, Switch 2
Mario
only.
Kart, Switch 2. Pokemon ZA is cross-gen, but again, that's because it's been in development for fucking ages.
Yeah.
But a lot of their big first-party things are literally Switch 2 only.
Yep, true.
So I think they're kind of going to be forcing the issue on people as to say, you're going to have to. If you want to play this game, you're going to have to.
Yep. Yeah.
And sales, to be fair, console sales are kind of showing that it's working.
Yeah. True.
Like 5 million sales already worldwide, which is fucking
fastest
insane.
selling console ever so far.
Yeah.
So anyway, Sergeant Sentinel writes in. Do you see PlayStation dropping exclusivity completely by next gen?
No.
Yeah, no. I agree. I think we already talked about this, but I don't see PlayStation moving away from console exclusivity.
No, if at most, it's going to be like very long timed exclusives.
Timed exclusivity.
Very long timed, yeah.
Yeah. Again, they don't have a PC storefront. They rely so much on selling you the storefront from the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Selling you the console. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dutch. And that already brings us to the end of this week's podcast. As always, it has been an absolute blast, not just with you, but also with our awesome community. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone who tuned in here today, who talked with us about all the good stuff that is happening in the gaming industry. We appreciate you guys if you've been listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast and made it this far. Big thank you to you as well. Dutch, before we let everyone out, let everyone know where they can find you and what you've coming up.
Indeed. Yeah, you can find me everywhere Wondering Dutch, on here, on Twitter, etc. Yeah, I don't really have much coming up, to be fair. I'll probably be doing a little bit more gaming over the weekend. Hopefully. I don't know what I'll be playing yet, but if I'm online, I might shout a few people to play some co-op games or play some online games and just have some fun. And chill out a bit. But yeah, other than that, I hope everybody had an awesome evening. And I'll see you, depending on news, hopefully. Fingers crossed, news is a little busy again and turn again next week.
Exactly.
It's the first time for a while we've done 2 weeks back to back. So
fingers crossed. That
Fingers
news
crossed.
keeps rolling in. So again, a big thank you to all our listeners. We hope you did enjoy the show. And of course, the weekend is near. Enjoy your gaming. And we hope to see you guys next week on Thursday here at the World of Gaming. Until then, don't forget to game on.